Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome, people, to episode 148 of Dude and a Monkey. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I'm joined by
Ian Loring, who's gone back to Budweiser because it was cheap, and I immediately regretted my decision. I got 20 bottles for a tenner, and I was like, "That's good value. That's good value." And then I opened up the first bottle, had a swig, and yeah, this actually does taste like piss, doesn't it?
It really does taste like piss, yeah.
So it's going to be back to the ales next week. If this isn't the last time you see a Budweiser on this show, please feel free to tweet me calling me a bellend. Just call me a bellend. Don't give me any context. I'll know through psychic osmosis.
Yeah, well, weirdly enough, Becky's been away this weekend with visiting a friend in London, and Isabel stayed at her grandparents last night, so I was in on my own, and I got myself some beers, and thought I'll have those later on when I'm watching a film later on. And then I went into the kitchen, get myself a drink, and made myself a cup of tea, and was stood there going, "Fucking, why didn't I get any beers? Why didn't I get any beers for tonight? I could have got a couple of beers, a nice couple of beers, and then, sat there and watched a film, and then gone to bed, and, it all been pretty cool, a nice chilled out night." I thought, fucking, I could walk to the shop, but then I'd have to sort the dog out, and so I didn't bother, and all the time they were literally, that far away from me, staring at me, not even in a cupboard, just staring at me next to the fucking kettle. Nice. I didn't want until I got up this morning, and there was some coffee this morning, I went, "Oh, you fucking dumb bastard." So, this week, we have a review of John Hellcat's new film, 999. We have maybe some trailer talk. A strange thing that I'll add in trailer talk. Strange experience while I was watching, before watching 999. And we'll have some what we've been watching on, and we don't have any questions or anything because we forgot to ask for them, essentially.
Oh, yeah. Shit! Yeah.
So we don't have any unless Ian, you want to tweet it out there now and we get some during the show.
No, I can't be asked, to be fair.
No, I might see what I can do. Anything else happened this week in the wonderful world of film that we should talk about before we hit possibly trailers?
I don't think so. It's been a bit of a quiet one. I didn't watch the BAFTAs because of the whole delayed thing, which got people up in arms, despite the fact it's happened every year for fuck knows how long.
Yeah, I didn't watch it for the simple fact that I don't care, really.
I don't care much either. We do have an email. Yeah. Sorry, it made me laugh. Okay. So, cool. It's just, there's no real interest. I know Brad was, having some rants about this, but, the best film thing didn't really have any British stuff in it anyway. It all feels like it's riding on the coattails of the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I heard that Jennifer Jason Leigh was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and the Weinsteins and Entertainment, the distributors over here, couldn't be asked to pay for her to come over because they were just like, "What's the point? The film's had no real heat whatsoever." Fuck it.
It did feel strangely subdued, the BAFTAs this year. It kind of just it was Sunday, and all of a sudden it was, "Oh, the BAFTAs are on tonight." And everyone went, "Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Do I need to rent a tux? Nah, I'll just throw on a T-shirt." Yeah. It felt a little bit like that. And then there was the whole... I didn't watch it, but there was a kiss cam thing because it was on Valentine's Day and things like that. And it just felt a little bit like, you should be doing better here. You're already an award ceremony that really nobody gives a shit about. And you've actually made yourself worse. It felt a little bit Britsy.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, that feels like the kind of thing Ant and Dec would pull.
Yeah, and then, there was the whole Stephen Fry said something and everyone got their fucking panties in a wad, so Stephen Fry did his fucking usual... I'm
off Twitter for 2 weeks. Like me.
Yeah, chucked his teddy out. And then I did actually sort of see something actually, because I didn't know what had happened, you see. And I saw that what is it? And I thought, oh, what's going on? So I read like a quick article about it on, I think it was The Guardian, and they quoted a few tweets from and screenshots of a few fucking tweets, which what The Guardian seems to do a lot now. And one of them was a girl who said, "That's it, I no longer like Stephen Fry."
Fuck off.
And it's like, what? It's like, for a start off, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And also, that's the one thing that stopped you from liking Stephen Fry, was a joke. That's it. It was a joke. Whether or not it was inappropriate, you don't know. They might know each other. They might be friends. It might be a running joke that they have.
And they totally knew each other and were friends. So
it's that kind of thing. And it's also like, of all the nonsense Stephen Fry has chatted for fucking years, that's the one thing that people pick up on.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking, I bet he's a great fucking dinner guest. I bet Stephen Fry's a wonderful pint. Absolutely.
A mate of ours used to live in the village where he was shooting a show that he did for a couple of years, like on ITV, and I can't remember the name of it, but she lived in the same village, so she was like down the pub with him a lot. And she said he's just the best company in the world.
He is. I bet he is. He's a very intelligent man. He's a great kind of raconteur. He is. The idea is he's not. He essentially he's a personality. He is, but he does spout some crap.
No, I mean he does, but everybody does. But
everyone does. But it's like, oh, this is the first time he's talked shite. It's like, no, sit and listen to him talk about fucking manic depression for 5 minutes, and you'll hear him talk shite.
I mean, the thing is as well that like the way that he said that, like, it's basically Twitter's become a place where it's like people have peed in the pool, and it's like it's been like that for a while. Yeah, I
mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong, and but I don't know. After my little break from Twitter, I've come back to it, and I'm a lot less bothered by stuff on it than I used to be. It's just don't get into it. If you don't like someone's opinion, just fucking unfollow them or block them if you have to. Job done.
Or just call bullshit on it.
Yeah, either that or just go for the jugular. It's like. But the thing is, I just can't be arsed with the fight. So
I don't have time.
No,
because if you're in a Twitter argument with somebody, you've got to set aside and go, I need at least kind of half an hour to set aside to do this. Otherwise, if they respond and I don't respond within a logical amount of time, essentially I've lost the argument just by being busy. So it's like, I look at it and go, that's bullshit. But I ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
I ain't got time. So you just fucking skip past. Ian, what trailers have you been watching this week?
I watched a couple. I know I have.
You watched a couple. I think I watched a couple. Before you go into them, while you remember what you are, I went to see 999 at View. Not View, sorry. I went to see it at the City Screen, which I've not been to for a while, to be honest. And there was 3 trailers for Hail Caesar.
What, were they different trailers or
different trailers? Yeah, all different trailers.
Were they short?
No, there were all the full trailers. There were the 3 full trailers that were available for it. No, there was the 1 teaser trailer, and then there was the 2 full trailers as well.
Yeah,
which was really weird.
Did they run in a row?
First 2 did, and then the teaser happened later on.
Someone totally fucked up the programming. I mean, it would maybe make some sort of weird sense if Universal distributed 999, because it might be that they had some like 999's hour film, so you're gonna do a few Hail Caesar things before it, but it wasn't. It was E1, so that doesn't make sense. That's just an error on the part of the projection manager/manager who had to program it.
Yeah, it was just a really strange thing, because it kind of like the "Twas If It Were So Simple" trailer.
Yeah.
That happened, and I was sort of laughing away, and then it cut, and then there was an advert, and usually you've got 4 trailers and then an advert, then the film starts. And there was an advert, and then the next Hail Caesar trailer came around.
Yeah, someone fucked the dog a treat on that programming. Yeah.
Oh, and also, minor gripe at City Screen. First time in a while. It's a lovely screen at City Screen in New York, apart from the fact that there was some cunt kept checking her iPad during the film. And so I sort of went over and tapped her and said, if you're going to check your emails, can you fuck off outside? But yeah, I don't know, I guess it's all pitch houses here, but between every trailer and now, they have an advert for their membership thing. Their pitch house membership thing between every trailer.
That sounds very Cineworld dictated, that does, because they fucking overload you with the unlimited card ads at Cineworld.
Of course they will, yeah. It's weird, because there used to be like one after all the trailers, but there was one at the beginning of the trailers, and then there was one in between each trailer, and there was one at the end of trailers, then there was the advert, and then there was one before the film as well, and it's like, fucking hell. Do you know what? I'm a member, and I'm actually thinking about breaking my card. I'm that pissed off with this. So yeah, go on, what trailers have you seen?
So I've actually only watched two. So I watched Bastille Day.
Seen this one? Was it any good?
So it's Idris Elba, Richard Madden. Richard Madden from Game of Thrones, and he was Prince Charming in Cinderella, plays a pickpocket who it's actually quite, I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny, even though it's not. He's a pickpocket who steals someone's bag, takes their wallet out of their bag, chucks the bag away, and it blows up, and it turns out there was a bomb in the bag. So he gets like arrested for for it, and Idris Elba's like the copper after him, and then he kind of convinces Idris Elba, look, it wasn't me, but I'll help you find out who it was. So they team up.
They stole that a little bit from Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Well, nice. I don't know. It looks pretty standard issue. It's Idris Elba being Idris Elba,
He will go like that.
I think he does in the trailer,
He will. He'll lean in and go like that.
Genuinely, yeah. And, for those listening to the podcast, you've missed that there. But, yeah. So, I don't know. It looks really generic. If there's good reviews, great. I imagine it'll be a 2-3 starer all the way. But
it's a Tuesday night Netflix.
Yep. And it's Studio Canal, so it'll be on Amazon Prime by the end of the year, I'd say. So there we go. So that's that. And Pee-wee's Big Holiday. I've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This might give me an excuse to. It is weird that the guy, I know it was like 25 years ago, but the guy who was caught wanking in a cinema is now starring in a Netflix original family film. But
Paul Rubens,
yeah. But I don't know.
So that's a real film.
Yeah.
I saw like a still from it the other day when I was sort of flicking through something, and I thought it was like a fucking Saturday Night Live sketch.
No.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, no, it's on Netflix in March. I think it was produced by Judd Apatow. He was the kind of like the person who got behind it. So, I'm interested enough. Visually, it looks, it's very high key, and I don't know. Paul Rubens looks pretty funny in it. It's a Netflix original. It's not going to be hard to watch it, even though saying that I haven't watched Beast of No Nation yet. But but yeah, I don't know. It looks alright. Joe Manganiello is.
Oh yeah.
So I'll probably watch it for that alone. I love that guy. So there you go.
I'll watch. I quite like Paul Rubens, to be honest. He's his career has kind of been faulted a little bit by the fact that he got caught jacking off in a theatre. So
if Joe Manganiello can fit in How Much for the Cheetos and Water, I'll be very pleased. So yeah, that's actually it.
Cool. I can't think of any. I don't think I've watched any at all. In fact, I know I haven't. No, I haven't. Oh, the trailer. Oh, we got that little sneak peek of Ghostbusters, didn't we? Did we talk about that?
Oh, fuck Tuesday? Me, man. I mean, what's that? A couple of shots of a cityscape and the logo.
Yeah, and the opening of the music. They should have really given us at least a fucking, somebody from it.
Yeah, I mean, that was bloody. I mean, I'm very up for the Ghostbusters film. Where the fuck's my bottle opener got?
Do you know what? The more and more, as more time goes by, the more and more I'm getting kind of up for it. I like the idea that Chris Hemsworth's Janine.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm bang up for it, but
I also think they should have called him Janine as well.
Yeah, they should have called him.
They should have just called him Janine, and it should have just been. It's like Melissa McCarthy read the fucking what is it and went Janine and looked at him and he went yeah, and they should have just left it at that and just not acknowledged that it was a girl's name at all.
I just checked. The thing that I saw literally was just cityscape shots, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, like the fact that they did that, and it was like, right, trailer's going to be out there in like 3 weeks.
It's a teaser for the trailer. We are now at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bag of fuck off. Like, just it's not. There's nothing interesting in it at all. There's not one shot that's actually interesting, and all it's used for is online to tell people who already know there's a new Ghostbusters movie that there's going to be a trailer for a Ghostbusters movie. It's not like people who aren't interested in film are going to see this. Like they're not going to put this on in an ad break of
it's an advert
and Dett's Saturday Night Takeaway or whatever. You know, it's like it's not actually informing anyone of anything.
It's an advert. It's a glorified poster.
I mean, a poster would have been better.
Yeah, it would have been. Because at least it would have been visual and it would have been static and it would have told you what is it. You would have to get to the end of it and go, what? This is a fucking advert for a trailer.
Yeah, that was the thing is if they did it like 2 or 3 days before the teaser came out, or the trailer came out, whatever, fair enough. It is what it is.
Weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks. Come on.
Yeah, you could do better.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that there are enough people who are already very much anti that film for ridiculous reasons, but anti that film anyway, that doesn't help its cause. But you know, hey.
Yeah, that's what. Do you know what? There's very little chance with the talent involved in that film, it's not going to be a lot of fun.
I'm pumped. I genuinely, like, all-female Ghostbusters, why the fuck not? Why not? I don't see a reason why not.
I'm there with that. My only issue with it is, why not? Sounds great. Sounds brilliant. My issue was when people started getting funny about it and saying, you know, it should be. It's like, well, it shouldn't be, and then going, well, why can't we have them? It's like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's a really good idea. Well, yeah, it is, you know, because why not? Like, well, I understand you saying why not, but it's not like it has to be.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that. Like,
there's militancy on both sides.
I'm on your side. I agree with you. It's a really good, a really interesting idea, but I don't get why you're angry about it because it's happening.
No, I mean,
and then once I found out Chris Evans was in it, I was like, as a secretary, I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant."
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, there's a guy in my work, Steve, who is really against the idea, and it's just like. But the thing is, I think it's
Steve.
What?
Is this the same Steve that you watched actors about?
Oh no, different Steve. No, different Steve. Different Steve. This dude's good. But no, I think he's more against the idea of it as a remake anyway. But to be fair, he might actually, as a remake generally, he might actually hear about this because one of the other guys in work, Tom, has recently started watching. And so fuck you, Tom. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, he likes you.
Everybody likes me.
Yeah, but no, he can go fuck himself. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I think he was more against it, the idea of the remake anyway, and I think maybe there's thought in that, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air this summer. So
I'm looking forward to it because the fact is, I didn't like Bridesmaids, so I decided that because I didn't like Bridesmaids, I didn't like Melissa McCarthy and didn't like Paul Feig. What were Paul Feig's and Melissa McCarthy's last 2 films? The Heat
and Spy.
And Spy. I thought The Heat looked like a piece of shit, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I thought Spy looked like a piece of shit, and I loved it.
Yeah, and Spy's
so
great.
I'm getting on board with Ghostbusters and going, I'm up for it. Because then, when I go into it, I don't have to backtrack and go, yeah, I was wrong. I can go, I was right all along.
Yeah, fucking A.
Yes. Moving on to our feature review, which is of John Hillcoat's new film. I'm a big John Hillcoat fan, and this is a crime thriller, and I fucking love crime thrillers. Cast. Casey Affleck, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Anthony Mackie, Aaron Paul, Norman Reedus.
He dies in the first 15 minutes.
All spoilers all the time. Kate Winslet, Gail Gadot, Woody Harrelson, Michael Williams. Am I missing anybody?
Anthony
I bet I am.
Did you say Anthony Mackie?
I did say Anthony Mackie, yes. Story is, you've got a bank robbery at the start of the film that is being done for some Jewish Russian gangsters working in Atlanta in Georgia, which is quite a different setting because it's not set in Boston or New York, which is fucking strange for a film of this type, but refreshing. And then we find out that Clifton Collins Jr. You have forgotten
yes. One. How could we forget Franco? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we find out two of the five people involved in this robbery are actually cops, and Aaron Paul, forgot him as well. He's an ex-cop and now seems to have some element of drug problem. We'll get into more of the story as we go along. But Ian, what do you think of 999?
Yeah, so, I mean, on the face of it, like, looking forward to it, it's John Hellcat. For the films I've seen of his, I'm free for free. And the cast is great. I like the trailer. And then the word came out that, like, it's alright, standard issue cop thriller. It's kind of, but, like, not really worth the cast and crew's time. And, I went in thinking, okay, well, we'll see. And its release date was a little bit, middle of February, really? It kind of almost felt like just a placeholder. So, I went in with lowered expectations, admittedly, but I enjoyed it. I have a feeling Mark's going to be all over it. I'm going to be stunned. I don't know what he thought of it. I'm going to be stunned if he didn't like it. And I told him that already. Once I came out of it, it is very, very, very standard issue, but I think it is elevated by technical things and the fact that you have got generally a very good cast doing solid work. I think I'm going to say Aaron Paul, I think, was very lazy casting. He's Jesse from Breaking Bad if he was a copper before he started taking drugs. That's it. And he doesn't say bitch all the time. That's it.
Just a quick question on that then. Is it that it's not a... Are you saying that it's not that it's a bad performance, it's just it's lazy? Because I haven't watched Breaking Bad, you see. So
yeah, basically, Breaking Bad, his arc is... he's basically a drug addict who starts feeling more and more guilty as the series goes on about his actions, and then falls apart because of that.
So it's very, very
so
similar.
It's very, very much what his arc in 999 is. So, yeah, it's... Aaron Paul's agent needs to get him some other work. I could see why he'd want to work on this film, given the cast and crew. That's the thing. I can see why everybody wanted to work with each other here. It's just the material is it's fine, but compared to something like Sicario, say, just because it's a recent comparison, it's not very good. Taken on its own, I enjoyed my time watching it, but I've got a feeling I'll just never watch it again, and that's fine.
Yeah. It's absolutely in my kind of wheelhouse. This is kind of the films that the reason why a lot of these films get made is because people like me really, really like them. They're an absolute kind of... They're a Thursday night staple for me. This is the kind of film that I want to watch that gets me just into that weekend thing, where there's a lot of sort of grittiness to it, and it was all fucking... There's a lot of testosterone in this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. But there's a lot of... You can tell that it's... Because it's gone through a lot of cast, to be honest, that didn't end up being in it, and then eventually they settled on this cast. It's been kind of in the works for a good couple of years, but there's a lot kind of, like you say, the filmmaker, the people involved kind of elevate the script isn't the story. The script of the story isn't bad. It's just, in other hands, you could imagine this being a very, very sort of generic film, whereas Hellcat does that great thing of if he directs it and he puts a little bit of time and he doesn't just go, well, I'm going to put that camera there or I'm going to shake this camera about here and do things like that. I mean, the great thing, I like the fact that the opening scene was the bank robbery, because you can tell what sort of film you're in for in these type of films by the opening kind of set piece. Because if you think about the great bank robberies we've seen in films over the years, you know, you're looking at sort of your Point Breaks, Heat, and the opening of The Dark Knight, they don't go for that kinetic, shaky camera. They're very much, here it is, and here it is. And they want you to see what's going on, and they're not rushing you through it to make it seem like there's not a lot of time left and it's all going really quick. They go, here's this, and they're calm and they're sedate, and it runs through. And that's what the opening does. You're looking at it and it's going in, and there's a time ticking down, but they're not running around. They're pacing. It's all very professional and everything like that, and that was sort of very nice. And you get that idea that these aren't just career criminals. They didn't start out at 19 fucking robbing cars. There's some element of there's something else below that level, which kind of works out. You know, you find out that Norman Reedus and Chiwetel Ejiofor are ex-special forces, and there's the ones that are coppers.
Sorry to interrupt. I do like that the backstory is very much kind of informed just by little things here and there. There's no info dumps about this character's connected to this character because this and blah, blah, blah. You just get, okay, Chiwetel Ejiofor has a kid with Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot's sister is Kate Winslet. So they have a relationship through that. That's how they got involved. And then Chiwetel Ejiofor was mates with blah, blah, like at war. So, but it doesn't sit you down and tell you. It's drip fed through like the first third to half of the film, which I really liked, actually.
Yeah, there's no Chiwetel Ejiofor, and we're all spoilers all the time, guys. When he has to shoot Norman Reedus, there's no, he doesn't turn around to Anthony Mackie and sort of say, you know, you don't know, we were in blah and blah and blah. Yeah. It happens, and it's snappy, and there is a lack of sentimentality in that, which is exactly what you kind of expect from John Hellcat. He doesn't linger on sentiment. You know, if anyone's seen The fucking Road knows that he doesn't. He doesn't linger on sentiment. You know, he's very much. His films have a stoicy to them, which this very much kind of has. It's this person has their problem. By the way, they're not going to if you think that we're going to resolve this problem, there's going to be a redemption for them. Don't. This person has their problem. Oh, by the way, they're not getting a redemption either, so we're chucking them behind us. It just, things happen as they happen, and there's confusion about it, and then you've got certain characters who are going, hang on a minute, you know, that doesn't fucking make sense. And it kind of takes long, but it is held together by the fact that it's a who's of fucking character actors. It literally is. You could almost play a competition in the next fucking 15 years and go, how many best supporting actor nods can all these guys get? Yeah. Because that's what they're always going to do.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like, Clifton Collins Jr., I mean, like, I love the fact that he's kind of in the background for most of the film, and then it kind of turns out that he's the one of that gang who's kind of pushing the buttons and really the kind of like the malignant force in there. I really, really like that. The fact that, you know, you think Kate Winslet's kind of the big bad of the piece, and you know, even she's to an extent kind of just following orders. But, you know, the fact that she's killed off, and then there's a good 10, 15 minutes still to go, even though, then again, the third act does just kind of feel like, right, that guy's dead, that guy's dead, that guy's dead, that guy's dead, that guy's dead. And by the end of it, who's left? The only actually good guy in it, and the guy who has somewhat had a bit of a moral redemption, but because he's not fully good, we'll stick him in a coma. It's like all the bad guys die, the good guy lives, and the guy in the middle is in a coma. The only one of those that doesn't fit with really is Aaron Paul. Yeah, and that's the thing. I was just like, by the time it got to the third act, and like all these people were dying, and it was like, you know, Clifton Collins Jr. and Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's just like, why are they even having this fucking conversation? Just shoot him. It was. You knew that was going to happen. You knew he was going to shoot him.
And you kind of look at that going, really, Chiwetel? You should have worked out by now that he's going to shoot you in the head. The minute he knew, but he almost does, I think, because he goes to motion with his head, that I've got it, and he motions his head, and you can see him almost kind of go, maybe you shouldn't have said that, and then he gets shot. But yeah, but everybody in it is very good. I had slight issues with Kate Winslet a little bit because she feels a little bit like she's being too playful with it, like she's having too much fun doing it, which is sort of like, hang on a minute, I can see why you would, because you've got the fucking hair and the accent and you're playing a complete matriarch. What is it? But the film's aiming for a little bit more of a serious tinge than you having a almost fucking Cruella de Vil-esque villainous to you.
It is a little too theatrical again.
Yeah,
like she's got most of her scenes with Chiwetel Ejiofor, and he's very good, keeping that shit on the lowdown. So yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and the one moment in the entire film, because I really like this film. The one moment in the entire film where I went, oh, didn't need that, was when Kate Winslet made the racist comment to Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh yeah, about the.
And I just went, oh, why? Didn't need that. You've made it. What? There was no point in it at all. It didn't make her anger seem more palpable. It didn't make her disdain seem more palpable. It was already at an acceptable level. It was just a little bit like, it was another layer where you kind of went, all you've done there is you've got a fucking burger and you've put another fucking slice of bread on it. Why have you done that?
Yeah.
Go away.
I mean, I'd argue as well, like, there's a bit of character development to Casey Affleck early on where it's kind of insinuated that, like, maybe he wants to be in the shit. There's that scene where he's just watching the IED explosion and his wife's chatting to him, and it's just like, I mean, like,
his wife's saying, "Come to bed on board, mate."
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I didn't really need that bit. I already got who Casey Affleck's character is. I mean, he's almost the MacGuffin in this.
Yeah, he is.
And it almost feels like they did that just to give him a bit of character, because otherwise he's the new guy who's actually a bit of a badass.
Yeah, but then again, you did get the whole set piece where they go into the projects.
Yeah.
With the bullet shield.
Yeah.
Which was a fucking incrable sequence.
I did like when they were going up the stairs and that woman just came out. She's like, "What the fuck are you lot doing?" I just the whole fact that it kind of made it seem almost matter of fact. Like not surprising or anything. Like that was a little touch that I kind of feel like probably wasn't in the screenplay, and maybe Hillcoat just kind of added. And it gives it. It gives it a bit more flavour. And there's enough of that kind of stuff to get you through, I think.
Do you know what that seemed like? That seemed like, because when films like this are being made, they've got one or two kind of advisors who have worked, so there'll have been somebody who will have been on that gang, who will have been on a gang unit. And will have said something like, do you know what, we once did a fucking a raid at a house like this, and some woman came out and gave a shit about making noise. And they said that, and Hillcoat had gone, oh, we've got to use that. We've got to use that, and put that. That's how these little things happen within these things. So yeah, but it's a wonderfully tense sequence in that. But I think these films often the kind of the tension and the because there's a bit where an explosive goes off that harms somebody that doesn't need to get harmed, when it goes off and it blows the guy's leg off. That I actually in my seat went, fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, again, stuff like that as well. Like, that is such a good, like, look, we don't really want to kill you, but fucking leave us alone, otherwise, boom.
It's a warning.
Like, that's, yeah.
It's a clever, it's a well done story. It's a story that kind of if you don't delve too deep into it, you don't think about it too much, which often can be the case of these type of films. It all works. It's when you start delving into it, the kind of the bones which start to come apart. I thought Woody Harrelson's character was interesting. The fact that he's a cop who quite simply, I mean, there's almost a cliche tick-off list with this film, which isn't an issue. It's not a criticism of it. The cliches are cliches because they're used often and they work well. And when they're done well...
It slightly is for me, just because the cast and crew don't feel like the type of cast and crew who should be ticking off cliches.
It is, but I think one of the things is even if something is done... my feeling with this thing is, if you've got something like that, if it's done well, it works. And if you've got Woody Harrelson, he can do it quite well.
It works. It doesn't particularly elevate the overall quality of the film. It makes what, like you said earlier on, what would have been a lesser film more. It's still, for me anyway, it's still like a 7 out of 10. It's not breaching 4 stars, you know.
It makes a 3 out of 5 film be a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, for me it makes like a 2.5 into a 3.5, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah. I saw a few people saying that there was a lack of kind of character development and things like that about it as a criticism. And I didn't want the character development. I wanted the story. I think if you'd have had too much of that character was more interesting, so it's the whole fucking Loki thing. The reason why Loki doesn't have his own movie is because it'd be boring watching Loki for 2 hours. It's great watching him for little segments in that. So if you'd have taken one specific person and focused on them more than the rest, which they do a little bit, but not as much. If you'd have taken, for instance, Woody Harrelson and just focused mainly on his character, you'd have gone, do you know what? That was cool, but I'd prefer to know what Casey Affleck's doing or what Clifton Collins Jr. is doing or things like that. So I like the fact that it very much is an ensemble piece that kind of centres around Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like he's the kind of the central person who connects all the dots, I suppose. So like he's in the kind of the centre of the Venn diagram.
Yeah,
is his character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
So yeah, no, totally. But no, I mean, I agree with that. And Clifton Collins Jr. is in it enough. His character is he's slightly the puppet master behind the scenes that you don't really realise he is until the last 15, 20 minutes or so. So, I thought he worked well for that. Like, I liked there's that moment where he's in the car and he's just watching that girl and he's like saying to Chiwetel Ejiofor, like, you've got to get rid of Aaron Paul. I'm not asking you, I'm fucking telling you, you've got to get rid of him. And it's like, there's just enough little moments like that peppered through the film, but you kind of forget about them.
Yeah.
And then and then he really comes back into focus later on. It's like, shit, you actually did quite a good little bait and switch on me. Fair play.
Yeah, and as well, it calls it in like the first fucking scene where you've got Reedus, Aaron Paul and Chiwetel Ejiofor sat in the car. And Aaron Paul saying, I can vouch for Marcus, Anthony Mackie's character. I can vouch for him. He's, we were in, we trained together and we, all that. And they go, yeah, it's not him we're worried about. It's Franco that we're worried about. And it's like that's completely founded by the end of it. He is the what you think is going to be the loose cannon, because he does the thing with getting the woman in the bank to put her lips onto the handkerchief, and you think, he's going to be the loose cannon. He's the one that's going to fucking start shooting people, and it turns out he's not. He's the one who's got a plan from the fucking start. He's one step ahead of everything, and all he's looking to do is just get the money and get the fuck out.
It's just like he pops up when like in the aftermath of the scene where Mackie's shot and Aaron Paul dies, and then he turns up, and it's like, shit. Yeah, I kind of forgot about him. Yeah, fuck. All right, he's here. He knows what's going on, and it kind of escalates from there. It's good. And Clifton Collins Jr., like early on as well, he has that scene where he's talking about like, I could kill a cop, like bang, done. And it's like everybody else is like being like morally oh, I'm not too sure, and he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. I like the way they do that, but then like his character's just not present, and they're concentrating on Ejiofor and Affleck, and you got a bit of Mackie and Affleck together. So it hides it. I mean, it is a bit of a trick, in fairness, but it's an effective one.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, this is absolutely kind of like the sort of film I go for. I love these type of sort of crime thrillers. So it will be one that I'm actually, I'm at the point now where I'm going, do you know what? I could probably watch it again, like really fucking soon, because just to see if there was other bits that I missed, stuff like that. Plus, there's some great kind of set pieces in it that work really well for me. It's nicely shot. It looks fucking great. I
really like the sound.
The sound's fantastic.
The way the sound builds during the set pieces is really well done. It's just like technically, it's really, really, really accomplished.
It's a constant sound movie as well. There's very little silence within it. There's always something going on. I think you mentioned it is the same people who do Fincher's sound.
Ren Kleiss was one of the guys behind the sound here, and yeah, he's like Fincher's man. So it kind of, I was like, yeah, all right, that makes sense.
It absolutely does. You can see that it's got that the sound and the score and everything is constantly trying to add to what's going on and build on what's going on. I say for me, it's definitely not shit. It's a solid sort of 8 out of 10 for me, but that's because it's a film that's appealing to people like me. So.
Yeah. I mean, definitely not shit as well. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not too sure what people going into it were expecting, other than maybe it to be a bit more classy than it is, but it is what it is, and it's enjoyable for what it is, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I will say is Anthony Mackie's pulling a bit of a Will Smith for me, in the sense that he always looks exactly the same in every single film he's in. He always looks like Anthony Mackie. It's a weird one.
I think he just straight up refuses to not look like Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, it's a strange one. He's not a bad actor. He's just wallpaper a little bit. He's so he was there. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great at all. Which it kind of makes you think. Is he Falcon? Is that who he is in Marvel? Yeah. See, I can't remember who the fuck he is in the Marvel films, but it's just you see him in an awful lot, and it's always like he always looks exactly the same. Whereas Chiwetel Ejiofor, he had the scars on the head, and there was sort of other bits around it, and Aaron Paul looks a little bit fat, and bits like that. So it just felt a little bit. I don't know. He's a strange one, Anthony Mackie, for me. I don't dislike an actor, but I just feel like he's very generic.
I mean, I could go for that. Yeah, sure. I don't really have much more to say to that, to be fair.
It's definitely not shit. And like I say, I'm looking forward to a rewatch of it, to be honest. So go on then, Ian. What have you been watching this past sort of week? I know there's a couple you wanted to talk about that you didn't get a chance to do on the
last show. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of fading in my mind though. But I rewatched The Limey.
Oh, did you? That's weird.
Why is it weird?
Because I watched it this week.
Oh, it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I think it's quite prominent on like Netflix UK at the moment. So yeah, man, that flick
in comedies.
Yeah. Oh, really? Really? The thing about The Limey, it's a really, really, really it's kind of appropriate with 999, really. It's a really, really, really standard issue revenge story, but the construction of it makes it way more interesting. It's a director taking material and like on the page and elevating it, and I mean, you've got good bits. I mean, you tell him I'm coming, you tell him I'm fucking coming. I mean, that is super duper.
it's a peculiar film, though. To be honest, like you say,
yeah, it totally is.
It feels like a fish out of water in its own film.
Yeah,
the whole thing just feels a little bit like, is this Poker Straight, or is it not quite on the fucking level? What's going on? I don't quite know how to take it.
The shots of him at the airplane at the start, it's like by the end of it could be like, was that actually him flying in or him flying out? I don't even know any. It's
also it's a revenge thriller that has no actual real revenge in it, really.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I mean, I suppose by the end you've got that scene, but like the introduction of Peter Fonda, the way it's just like it's kind of they're talking about him in kind of abstracts, and then it's like bang, there's Peter Fonda, and what's he doing? He's just having a chat with some girl, and he doesn't seem like that bad a guy, and and I like the way that he's not exactly a big bad. It just. It was kind of an accident.
It was an accident, and he's bad in the sense of he just doesn't want to go back to it. He doesn't want to lose his lifestyle.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
His time, his time has been and it's gone, and he made a lot of money, and then that money's running out, and so he saw a slightly shady way where he doesn't have to get his fingers dirty way of keeping that lifestyle, and he did it, and. Then in a way, but it kind of was, but it wasn't. But he's not. Like you say, he's not actually a bad guy. He's just he's kind of his ego is his worst enemy.
Yeah, I mean. I mean, I certainly don't think it's a perfect film. I mean, like I say, the actual story is not that much, and I've got to say, the Terence Stamp Cockney slang stuff does get old. But
the Terence Stamp Cockney slang is very much, or feels very much like Steven Soderbergh watched Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and went, ooh, I like that. I'm going to make that film, but I don't want to go to England.
I mean, this is the director who did that character a couple of years later. Sorry.
Yeah. You got to say the Don Cheadle.
Yeah, and then does Don Cheadle a couple years later. It's just like it seems like he's interested in the English, but he's doing that off of the back of Mary Poppins.
Slang, like those little fucking books that you keep in like your spare bathroom or something like that.
Exactly, and so it is a film that feels slightly bitty. I mean, maybe that is because of the construction, but I mean, Stamp is good. I mean, he is really good. He's very like threatening and whatnot. And I like that Luis Guzman is like his sidekick. That's awesome casting. And the whole thing flows along really well. It's less than an hour and a half long. It gets in, it gets out. It does it with a nice amount of style and panache. And I mean, I enjoyed it just as much as I think I did the first time round.
Yeah, I was exactly the same when I watched it. To be honest, it's definitely one of his more side project movies that he did, like an idea that he had. He does this sort of way as an idea, and he goes and he starts making it, and you kind of get an idea that halfway through it, he kind of gets a little bit like, I just want to get this finished now. And then just gets it finished. A little bit like Haywire was like that. I enjoyed Haywire, but it does feel a little bit like he almost, in his own mind, thinks, yeah, well, this isn't one of my serious movies. It's
I mean, like Side Effects pictures as well. I mean, like Side Effects was his last film before retiring. And he goes out with Side Effects, really. But then the film before that was Behind the Candelabra. So he's an interesting one. Is Soderbergh? It's like, does he want a steak or does he want a burger? You can never really decide, but even if it's a burger, it's going to have a really, really nice pickle.
He wants a burger that will cost more than a steak. He wants a Wagyu beef burger.
Fuck, that's a
and that's what it is.
There you go.
Which isn't a fucking problem, because I've had a Wagyu beef burger and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, totally. He's a funny one, and if this I think he's got something like bubbling under with Channing Tatum about a potential return to film.
Yeah, so, I remember when we did Side Effects, he's threatened to retire 3 or 4 fucking times. He's a perennial, he'll do it and he'll come back. He's like it's like the Kevin Smith thing, but he's got...
Yeah, but people want to see Soderbergh come back.
Exactly, well, yeah.
Right, seriously, man, Yoga Hoses. I know I'm going to watch it, but oh my God.
Yeah, I just kind of... I want Yoga Hoses to have happened and be gone so I can get back to being excited about Mallrats sequel and the Clerks 3.
Oh, man, I don't know.
I love those series of films. I love that world, so I'm alright with that. But the problem is I know that I'm going to watch Yoga Hoses and go, fucking hell, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay behind you, Kevin. I really am. But you keep doing this shit to me.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But I'm way past the point of caring with Kevin Smith. Just whatever now. You know, I used to get really angry, but...
I don't blame people. Yeah, so go on then. What else you been watching that I might not have watched as well?
Yeah, well, I watched The American Dreamer. I actually have a review of it on Vodzilla, so I'd maybe direct people to there. But it's on Mubi. It's basically a pseudo-documentary that Dennis Hopper made with a couple other folks around the time that he made the last movie.
Yeah.
And it stars Dennis Hopper as himself, who... basically he alternates between actually pretty interesting monologues and then scenes where he wants to have a load of women fawn over him because he says that would be his dream, so they hire a load of women to come over and get stoned with him, and then he just chats bollocks and then seems to have sex with a couple of them in a bath. It's by turns really...
He was a cad, wasn't he?
Oh, fucking... I mean, it's at turns really interesting and really boring. The last 20 minutes or so is just... Oh, get the fuck on with it. I'm done. But, there's, really interesting bits where he's comparing himself to Orson Welles and, talking about how... it's an absolute crime that Orson Welles didn't get treated the way that he should have, and The Magnificent Ambersons was a masterpiece that was lost, and and he's I don't know, it's interesting stuff where he's having a go at the documentary crew for them asking him to repeat stuff to get it on camera, but then he's also asking for them to hire him a load of women in and stuff like that, and the dichotomy between that and the fact that he's blatantly hypocritical and even admits to it, but just goes with it. And the fact that, is this a documentary? Is this just a piece of whatever that he made? I don't think even if Hopper was alive today, I don't think he'd be able to tell you, because I don't think he'd be able to remember what he was thinking at the time, No,
so. He said previously that he doesn't really remember that much from about 67 till about 78 or something like that.
Yeah, it's fair play. I mean, it's only about 80 minutes long, and it's interesting enough to mildly recommend it, but you've got to wade through some really, really, really...
You don't watch it on a Friday or a Saturday night.
No, God, no. I think I watched it on a Wednesday night because I had a deadline for review. So, and that was fine. But yeah, and don't watch it with a drink either. If you get even slightly sleepy, you're fucked. So yeah, that's The American Dreamer. I'll leave it over to you for a couple, mate, and then I'll kind of go into the ones I've actually watched this week.
All right, cool. I rewatched Snatch. I think we spoke about it a while ago.
A little while back, yeah.
Yeah, when I was going to rewatch it because I couldn't really. I had no real intention of rewatching it. And I think you said, "Oh well, actually, out of the ones that Snatched held up quite well, out of the early Guy Ritchie movies." So I rewatched it last night, and I think it's his second film, isn't it, Snatch? It's the follow-up to Lock, Stock. And it's weird because The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was a great... We both really liked it, from last year. And I was gobsmacked because I fucking despised all the marketing for it and thought it looked terrible. And then really, really liked it. It's a stylish, really well put together film that kind of shocked me and made me go, holy fuck, actually Richie can direct a film and not just, he wasn't just this bubble that burst and just all the fucking Madonna crap and everything like that kept him in a career. But this is, some of the script in this is fucking brutal at points. And it's weird seeing Jason Statham before he became action star Jason Statham, because there's all this action sort of going on around him, and he's just kind of walking through it, and it's quite weird. What does sort of stand out, and I don't think I appreciated that much at the time, because I've not watched this since probably it came out in 2000, I think. I've probably not watched it since then, so it's like 16 years ago. Is that Brad Pitt absolutely is the absolute star of this film. Not just like the biggest name in the film. He, by a long way, it gives the best performance in the film. It's his arc, and he's very good, and there's a lot going on there, a lot more than I think, because in my mind it was just it was that thing he did with Guy Ritchie where he just put on a funny accent and he sort of walks around without his shirt on, just looking like a hot gypsy. Which is what he does, but there's actually quite a lot fucking going on in his character, and there's always cogs turning that you don't think are there, and it's actually a really sort of well put together performance. It's a strange film because there's an awful lot going on in Snatch. There's so much more. When Benicio del Toro turned up virtually the first fucking scene, I was like, Christ, I forgot he was in this. And then all the stuff with fucking Alan Ford started, and I was watching it going, he's really bad. I know that people remember him from this film and sort of quote things that he said, but you watch it going, there's a reason why he's narrating fucking butter adverts or whatever it is he's doing now. And it's because all he's got is a Cockney accent, and that's it. And it feels just so over the top. Dennis Farina's he's actually in a Pink Panther movie, but in this movie, it's really fucking strange.
Sit down and shut up, you big bold fuck.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah,
which is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a good time Saturday night movie. But when your movie fucking finishes, and you stop and you go, do you know what? The best deliveries and the best performances in that movie. Dennis Farina's just doing Dennis Farina, so that's fantastic. But Brad Pitt, fair enough. But when the one behind it is Vinnie Jones, you're going, there must have been something wrong there, because he's entertaining and he's good and he works in the character he is. The scene where he's sat down when he's in the bar, and you've got the two guys come in the balaclavas and they're pointing the guns at him, and he picks up the pint of Guinness that's half full, and he leans over the bar and just turns round, and they're following him around with the guns, and he sits down and he's calm as fuck. It's a great scene. It works really well, and he's delivering his speech, and you're going, this is Vinnie Jones delivering this, but you're actually captivated. And at the time you're going, this is weird. Vinnie Jones has been in 2 movies where he's been actually really quite good and quite entertaining. And then now you're going, now he does those lottery adverts. And there is a correlation between the people who went on to have successful careers. So Jason Fleming does a lot of, he crops up in film, but also does a lot of theatre work. Statham's the Stath, Brad Pitt, Stephen Graham, he's arced out a very, successful character actor career. And then the rest of them are all sort of doing advert voiceovers, or kind of going, hey, remember me when I was in that film at that time? You remember me, don't you? Because, you do. Please remember me. Please fucking remember me. It's that kind of thing with it. And if they aren't shouting, please remember me, they're dead. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. Mike Reed. He was in a film with Benicio del Toro, and now he's dead.
Yeah, and he's funny in it, Mike Reed.
Yeah, he is. He's good.
He's actually really quite good in it. But yeah, it's it feels like a solid sophomore effort, but that absolutely feels like somebody's second movie where they got more money and more time and didn't quite fucking shit the bed with it. They kept it on a balance, an absolute balance, and it kind of works, and it's a blast, and it's a great story, but the script at points you go, why are you saying that? There's no point.
I mean, it's very much of its time, but I think considering
absolutely, yeah.
Considering how like how much time has passed, I think it's held up actually well. I'd be very worried about going back and watching Lock, Stock now.
Yeah, well, I kind of thought after it, I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind rewatching Lock, Stock, and then I thought about it and went, oh, but that's horrible.
Yeah, like I bet it's fucking horrible now. Yeah.
So, but I might go back and rewatch it though. So I watched Snatch, and it's enjoyable for the Brad Pitt performance more than anything else. His character is a great character, and it's weird that it's kind of become almost like an iconic character for him, which is strange that it was only a year after Tyler Durden. I rewatched Network.
Yeah, I watched this not long ago, actually. Yeah,
we watched it. Becky had mentioned to me and said, I can't remember, it cropped up on something, and she said, "Oh, I've never actually seen Network." I was like, "Right, we need to fucking rectify that because it's brilliant." And then it's one of those films where you start watching it and going, you forget how brilliant actually Network is. It's a fantastic movie and still feels incredibly relevant and of its time, and still feels like it has a place, and everything it's got to say still makes sense. In fact, everything it's got to say in 1976, 40 years ago, actually resonates more now than it fucking did at the time, which is baffling. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
that we've moved on 40 years, but we've not. Maybe when you looked at it 30 years before, you'd have gone, oh, look how far we've moved on. And then you look 40 years on, you go, yeah, look how far we've gone backwards or not moved on. I don't even fucking know anymore. But it's a wonderful, wonderful film that maybe doesn't get the, I don't know, the widespread attention that it maybe should, I think.
It certainly doesn't get as much anymore, I think. Even though you're right, it is still super, super fucking relevant. Super relevant.
Yeah, and I'll let you come back in. I've got a couple more, but I'll let you do a couple more of yours, and then I'll finish off with very brief explanations about my last two.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. But so, okay, yeah. I've only got three actually. So speaking of films that kind of still feel depressingly relevant, I watched Canadian Bacon.
Oh, the last John Candy movie.
Yeah, and the only fictional film that Michael Moore directed.
Oh, of course it was.
As it says at the start, written, produced, and directed by Michael Moore. Yeah. Just like straight up. Yeah, this is my fucking film.
Michael Moore in Ego Trip. What a.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I mean, it's an interesting cast, this as well. Like Alan Alda as the president, John Candy, Rhea Perlman, Kevin J. O'Connor, Kevin Pollak. It's I don't know. It's a good who's that of 90s cinema. And essentially the story is the US have basically won all the wars. Nobody wants to have a fight with them anymore, so they have to invent an imaginary war. So they do so against Canada. But the actions of John Candy's like small town sheriff exacerbate things, and where they actually just wanted a bit of a Cold War to stoke like weapon manufacturing and stuff for a war that would never actually be fought. Instead, it actually kind of looks like war is coming. Given what's going on with the Republican caucuses at the moment, where it does genuinely feel like Donald Trump's got a good chance of being president, it feels like this film still has a lot of relevance. And it does seem like Donald Trump would be the kind of person who would say, let's go to war with Canada because fuck it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's essentially the film's got one point, that America's stupid. And it really, really, really hammers it. And unlike something like Team America World Police, where it's joking about other stuff as well and is being offensive about other things as well, this film's raison d'etre is America's stupid. And that's all it is for 90 minutes. And a fair bit of it hits, I like some of the like the kind of like the propaganda like stuff is funny, and John Candy's funny. There's a good bit with him, Kevin J. O'Connor, and I think Bill Duke, where they're in a van singing "Born in the USA," but they don't know any of the words other than "Born in the USA." So they're kind of just making stuff up and like going, "Born in the USA," and it's little things like that. Yeah, funny, but it's essentially you don't watch a lot of South Park, do you?
No.
Right. In South Park, whenever crowds are getting like annoyed and testy, they all just start going, rabble, 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 rabble. And it feels like rabble, 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 the movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there are bits where like Alan Alda's on the phone to the Canadian Prime Minister, and it's like, you're getting a bit Doctor Strangelove here. I can see what you're trying to be, Michael Moore. Nah. Yeah. No, you're not. Sorry. And it just, from a film business point of view, who the fuck thought people would pay money to watch an hour and a half of America's Really Stupid? Oh, yeah. You Americans, you're stupid. Oh, you're so stupid.
Especially in, what was it, 1995, I believe?
Yeah. Like, I could see, in the aftermath of, like, 9/11 and, maybe not straight away after 9/11, but...
2005.
Yeah. Where the tide was turning against Bush, then totally I could see where this could actually have a place. But no, Team America was there. It did that job, but it did it better. So, it's...
Canadian Bacon bombed horribly as well.
Really, really badly, yeah. And I'm not surprised why. As I say, it's depressingly, it is still somewhat relevant, but it is a one-joke film. And it really, really, really hammers it home, like Michael Moore does with everything, to a better or lesser degree. But yeah, I don't know. It just, I'm glad I finally watched it. It was on Netflix. It's an easy watch. But I watched it on Wednesday, I think. It's like, yeah, perfect. Just a hump day film.
I remember. Yeah, I remember watching it when it first came out, because at the time I thought, I want to watch this John Candy's last film. Turned out it fucking wasn't actually his last film, which was it? It was the last film released, I think. It wasn't the last film he made.
He died during Wagon Teeth.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Which is actually a better film.
I haven't seen it.
And Wagon Teeth isn't a great film.
Yeah, so there you go. It's on Netflix UK if anyone's interested. It's got some solid stuff in it, but not enough. So Band of Outsiders, the Godard film, still pushing it with the Godard, and actually really enjoyed it. It's Godard being really, really playful with the form, and he's got that French New Wave cool down here. You got some iconic stuff in there. You got the running through the Louvre, I think it might be, but running through the museum, which is great. And there's a dance sequence where it starts off with like music in the background, then the music's off, and it's just it's like the music in their mind, and they're all in sync, and they're doing all these moves together, and it's just really full of life, I suppose. If that doesn't sound too wanky, which it probably does. The story is a slight one, and when it goes into its more esoteric bits, I kind of switched off a little bit, but it's I don't know, it's a fun little love story, and it's only 95 minutes long, so it's not a bad shout. I'm glad I watched it. And last on my list, I finally watched the Simon Pegg starring Absolutely Anything. So yeah, this was Terry Jones directing for the first time in a good long while, and the story is essentially it's Bruce Almighty, except instead of Morgan Freeman as God, it's the surviving Monty Python members as aliens.
Oh, it's that one. Yes.
Yeah.
I had that one confused with another one.
Fantastic Theory of Everything.
That's the one.
Which I went to see in the cinema, and oh my god, I can't believe I actually went to see that in the cinema.
Yeah, directed by, what's his name, who's the lead singer of Cooler Shaker?
Crispin something.
Crispin Mills.
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
John Mills. I think.
Yeah. But essentially Simon Pegg was just mates with him and just went, I'll make this, and oh my god. I did that in a double bill at the cinema with Casa de Mi Padre. That was a fucking day.
Fucking hell. Wow, you managed to find a film worse than Casa de Padre.
I kind of like Casa de Mi Padre.
What was absolutely anything like then? Because it looks fucking terrible.
It's better than it looks, but considering it looks fucking terrible, that's not saying much. The thing is, you've got to believe that, that a large plot point in the film is that Simon Pegg thinks that he's done the whole trick and that Kate Beckinsale was in love with him because of that. And no, Kate Beckinsale just really likes him. So there's a scene where he does that, and then she comes up and basically takes him into the bedroom straight away, and it was essentially because she wanted to, and it's nah.
Yeah, well, there does seem to be a bit of a theme with Simon Pegg in those kind of movies where he leads them himself. Because it is a similar thing in what's it called? Hector and the Search for Happiness, where he's got Rosamund Pike is absolutely in love with him.
Yeah,
and it's a bit like, no, I'm sorry, I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just, I don't know. He tries to do that, but he tries to be the everyman as well. But I don't know. I just get the sense that he thinks he's the everyman, and he would protest that he were if anyone were to confront him on it. But at the same time, he's a guy who calls his autobiography "Nerds Do Well" and then actively attacks fans. What was it about that he came out and
Star Trek?
I think it might have been Star Trek, and I remember being really pissed off with him at the time about it as well. And it's decide what you want to be. Do you want to be taken seriously, or do you just want to do the comedies for the nerd crowd? Do you want to write Paul, or do you want to? I don't know. It almost feels like he's someone who wrote Paul under duress or something, like he felt he had to, and it's But anyway, so I've got problems with Simon Pegg, but I mean, and
then go watch Hector and the Search for
I know. I mean, that's the thing. I've heard enough about that film that I just know it's not going to happen.
Do you know what? Even Rosamund Pike smacking her own ass in when she's wearing nothing but underwear doesn't make it worth 2 hours.
No, oh God. The thing is,
which normally would.
This is an hour and 21 minutes, and that might have been
short.
Yeah, and this might have been the only reason why I watched it.
Did it cost $22?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the alien CG stuff actually doesn't look bad, and they've got a good line in it's really, really broad humour, but the aliens all have women's names, and it did make me chuckle. I won't lie. There's also
Williams voice a dog in it.
Yeah, he does.
I'm thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was around the time that the posters and stuff were coming out for this, where Simon Pegg did that thing, and it was all right, bud, if you want to be taken seriously, don't star in the film where Robin Williams is a talking dog.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
I just know. So, yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not great. It's got its moments. There's a good little subplot where Sanjeev Bhaskar really wants to fuck one of his colleagues, and Simon Pegg basically says, make her worship him, and then through the film, she goes from really wanting to fuck him to building an altar around him to actually starting a cult around him, and then this cult following him wherever he goes. And that the build of that's actually pretty funny. And Sanjeev Bhaskar plays that quite well. And Eddie Izzard has a couple of good scenes in it as well. I don't know. It's Bruce Almighty, except instead of God, it's aliens. There's nothing else to it. It's just, I mean, some of the wordplay with the wishes and how it's interpreted wrong is quite funny. There's a bit...
Wasn't that done in Bedazzled, though?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. It's kind of the same old shit.
Yeah.
And this film obviously got the budget because it's got the Pythons in it and Simon Pegg and Robin Williams, They should all be doing better material than this. It's not terrible, and the runtime alone makes it maybe a mild recommend. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it's the worst film of the year, whatever. Like, I'm not. I'm going to straight up. I laughed a few times. It doesn't do anything of real interest. Watching Kate Beckinsale kind of fawn over Simon Pegg is a little bit sick-inducing, and which might be a personal thing, admittedly. But yeah, I didn't really give a fuck.
It looks like one of those movies, to be honest, where you watch it. Where if I watched it, which I might do at some point, I very much doubt it, but I'd watch it and get to the end of it and go, well, I didn't hate it, but I kind of hate myself for watching it.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like even The World's End, which Pegg has said is like his favourite of his recent performances. It's like he's an arsehole in that, but. He's an arsehole who also basically is suffering from a mental illness. So it's even there. He can play an arsehole, but he's got to have the caveat that he's also mentally ill. It just...
And he's also got to save the fucking world.
Yeah, exactly. It's just... I don't know. I mean, like, there's that Kill Me 3 Times film as well, which I haven't seen, and, like, no one's talked about. And
well, from what I understand about that, I've not seen it, and I probably never will watch it. He's in all the posters, and he's on all the marketing, and he's the lead character in it, and everything like that. But apparently he's not actually in it that much, is what I read. I mean, that may be complete bullshit, but I'm sure I read somewhere that he's actually... It's more of a token performance, but they try to sell it on that because there's fuck all else there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year for Pegg because obviously he's co-written Star Trek Beyond, and I just can't help but think if that film does well, he's going to be taking a lot of credit, and if it does badly, he's going to be blaming a lot of shit. Like the fact that the first trailer came out for that, and immediately it was like, guys, this isn't the film, don't worry, this isn't the film. Yeah. And it's like, do you know what? No, shut your mouth. Let the marketing people do their job, because they've got to make it a film that a broad audience is actually going to want to watch. And that trailer made it look like a film that I want to watch. And I really didn't like Star Trek Into Darkness.
You don't fucking sell Star Trek to the geeks. Because they're already going to watch it anyway.
No, that's the thing. I mean, like, Star Trek Beyond, that already is feeling like the forgotten film of summer 2016, and it's not summer 2016 yet. I keep on forgetting that's this summer.
Oh, when the trailer came out, I was like, are they actually doing another one? It's that film stinks of contractual obligation.
Yeah, it does. It's like everybody feels like they're on a free picture. They're going to do that, and then it's going to be the new TV series next year. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll take it from there. This totally.
I imagine every scene with Chris Pine in it, he is on the edge of the periphery, delivering his lines, and then going. And just walking off, going to do something else more interesting. I mean,
Zachary Quinto's probably like, look, to be honest, I don't even have that many options these days, but I can't be asked for this anymore. What's my line? What's my line?
I've got Hitman 3 to go and make.
Yeah. I've got Agent 48 to go and do.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it'll be called.
When I come back, because fuck it, where was I going to go?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah. What do I have to do now? I'm going to jump on a trampoline. Yeah? I'm going to jump on a trampoline. Why am I doing that? Oh, because I'm jumping.
Does Chris have to do it? No, I'm not doing it then.
No, I'm not doing it. No. Is the trampoline going to be in shot? Why not? Well, you could have a trampoline on the Enterprise. No, I'm not coming out of my trailer until you write a bit where there's a trampoline in the Enterprise.
Yeah. Tell Simon to write a trampoline in.
I'm not having to pretend that I'm jumping off something else. No. I'm jumping off a trampoline, guys, all right? Yeah? What, do you want to fire me? Yeah? That'll be fine. You can replace me with fuck off from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that's on the fucking cusp, isn't it?
Like genuinely, how that guy isn't already Spock, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been watching this week.
Cool. I've got a couple more to do. I watched The Other Guys. A reason is it's great. Every time I watch The Other Guys, I'm watching it going, this film is an absolute blast.
Oh, Gators bitches better be wearing jimmies. Oh my God.
So you learned all that sarcastically.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's amazing.
The dance thing is fantastic. It's Mark Wahlberg just doing the comedy thing that I think he does fantastically. It's a ridiculously entertaining movie but it's one of those great comedies where every time I watch it, there's new jokes arrive, or I appreciate new bits more. So, for instance, the bit where for some reason Mark Wahlberg says to Will Ferrell's character about the lions coming to get the salmon.
Oh yeah,
he goes this story about teaching the salmon uprising and making breathing apparatus from kelp, and it's like that. I completely forgotten about it, but I was in stitches throughout it, and the Michael Keaton doing the constant TLC references, which you kind of think, where did that even fucking come from?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it starts in the middle of the film. At the start of the film, it starts in the middle of the film.
Yeah.
You know, he's had you can imagine if he'd had it 3 or 4 scenes previous to that, he'd done it in every scene, but he doesn't. It just drops.
It's the one that kills me with that is you got to creep. And then he leaves it a couple of seconds and then he goes creep. And it's like I love the way that you genuinely can't tell whether he's trolling them or not. It's so good.
That's the great bit where he first sees Will Ferrell in the bed behind. He's like, "Have you come for the bath mats?" And he's like, "What?"
Yeah,
yeah. It's down to the what I think a great touch, an underappreciated touch in that movie is Mark Wahlberg's apartment. There's a Cobra poster up.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
When they got to Mark Wahlberg's apartment and they're in that few seconds, there's a Cobra poster on the wall, and that's the only thing that's actually on any of the walls is that poster, and it's like that's a great fucking touch. Yeah. I also watched No Way Out after a Gene Hackman conversation we had on WhatsApp. I rewatched that. It's a fucking strange movie. It's No Way Out. Really is. Sean Young is in it, and she actually seems like she's just shit-faced for every single one of her scenes. Like, it's the only fucking way she could get through this film is if she was really fucking drunk. And the character's supposed to be drunk in a few of them, but she just seems like she's pissed. Will Patton is turned up to fucking 11 in that movie as well. It's a fun old fucking movie. And it's on. It's one of those movies that could only have been made in 1987, and that's when it was made. And Kevin Costner kind of almost sleepwalks his way through it, but like he's putting as much effort into it as he can, but it just is none of it's landing at all. And Gene Hackman feels like he should be in something better. So yeah, that was it's a strange one, that film. It really is. It's quite well. Watch it because it's worth watching for how out of it everybody fucking seems in it. I'm sure it's on. I watched it on Netflix UK. So
shit, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So maybe give it a go because Will Patton's turned up to 11. He goes fucking full crazy in it.
Okay.
Kevin Costner is trying to play kind of like laid back, cool, so much to the point of because the story is that there's a murder and they use the murder to put all of the attention on it into solving this murder. They're not actually trying to solve; they're trying to frame somebody, and the person they're trying to frame is actually Kevin Costner, but he's the one who's investigating the murder.
Oh, bloody hell. Right.
But he knows he's investigating himself, but he knows it's a frame-up, so he's got to kind of not kind of solve it while seeming like he's solving it.
Seeming like he's making progress. Oh, man, that's interesting.
Also actually trying to investigate it to find out what the fuck is actually going on, and he knows what the fuck is actually going on.
Right, I've added it to my list. Right,
yeah, I would, because but it all fucking blows up massively, and there's just some crazy performances in it. But yeah, it's a fun old movie. It really is.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's the last of what I've been watching. So you said we had some feedback.
Yeah, just the one, which is good. So this is Marcus Sizu emailing once again. Thank you, Marcus. So, hi guys. I thought I'd return an email after last week's show with a few things about the last few podcasts. 1, fuck me, doesn't Mr. Porter go on? An entertaining show and some very interesting points.
Becky mentioned that as well.
Oh, really? That's
funny. Not just in a negative way, but you said Brad literally just took over the show and just didn't let anyone talk.
Yeah, man, no, he's passionate. I love it. It's funny.
Yeah, I do. It's great with Brad, yeah.
Number 2, love the drunken discussion ramble on Carol. Mark's theory has some legs, but I saw it more Ian's way, to be honest, but it made me rethink it. Yeah, I can't even remember that. Shame Carol didn't...
I have now... I've said to Becky, I have vowed to never discuss Carol ever again. Ever.
Good.
Because it winds me up too much, and I thought, I don't need to. I voiced that. Carry on.
Shame. And he says, shame Carol didn't get an Oscar nom for Best Film. Any of you thought it missed out? Any you thought missed out? Are we talking... I think he means any films generally. I think Carol did. I don't really think anything else that would be particularly Oscar-y, I don't think really did get missed out.
It's Sicario.
Oh, Sicario. No, it's not.
That's a good shout.
That's a good shout, actually.
I was quite surprised that didn't get a nod. It got a nod in quite a lot of other categories that would usually have led it to that, and I do think that deserved a nod for Best Picture, to be honest.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm on record as saying I think the list is a solid list of nominees.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think at least every single film on there at least is a 4-star. So I'm more than happy with it. But yeah, I would have put Carol and Sicario on there myself. But I don't. In all fairness, I'm not sure whether I would have taken anything off.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe Bridge of Spies or The Martian for me, but I'm happy with them on there at the same time. So,
yeah.
3, agree. While cinema is difficult to watch, you can't just chuck it on like a throwaway film. I have 3 kids, so I understand it's not easy. I'm on Mubi too. It's such good value. Yes, it fucking is. Number 4. My most anticipated films of 2016 are The Neon Demon, Midnight Special, Manchester by the Sea. It's only the end, and it's only the end of the world. Xavier Dolan's new one. He was a delight at the Mummy Q&A I saw him at. Not big-headed at all. Admitted he hadn't seen many films. Well, he's in his fucking mid to late 20s, and he's already made a shitload. So I'm not surprised he's too busy. I expected him to be an ass, but it was just the audience who was shit asking about his sexuality. And finally, all the new Malik ones, if they ever arrive, were yours. That's a fair shout. Anticipated for the year. The Neon Demon, for sure.
Neon Demon, yeah, that's the new Randy Refn one, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That Midnight Special, I'm very much looking forward to, actually, as well.
There was a trailer for that in front of 999.
Oh, did you get that? What else am I looking forward to? There's probably loads that I just can't fucking think of right now. New Scorsese one, can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Silence.
That's it, but I could see that being January next year.
Actually. Oh, that's going to be January 2017 over here, for sure. Fuck. My mind's gone blank.
My mind's completely gone blank. And I know there's 2 or 3 that should be going boom, boom, boom. Suicide Squad, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, totally.
David Ayer doing his thing. I'm trying to think of it. Hail Caesar, I'm looking forward to. The more and more I see about that, the more and more that looks like it's going to be a fucking good time. Again, the Malik ones, I'm holding off on Night of Cups to actually see if it actually comes out and they get a cinema release over here, because I'd like to see it, even if it's very limited and I have to go and see it somewhere. I'd still like to see Malik on the big screen if I can get away with it.
That Herzog documentary about the internet, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but I'm very intrigued by that. And also, I don't know whether his Queen of the Desert's going to get a theatrical over here. I know I don't download torrents anymore, but I know it's on torrent sites. which is surprising, as is Knight of Cups. But yeah, it's. I am, anything Herzog I'll watch immediately.
Absolutely, yeah.
What else? I mean, What the Hell's got that new one, Tomboy, coming out?
That's next year now. It's been put back.
Oh, has it been put back?
I think it's been put back, yeah. It's been put back to February 2017, apparently it's coming out now.
Oh, that's a shame.
But yeah, it's there's one. I know there's one, and it's there. That's in my brain going, no. Remember me. You're really looking forward to me, and I can't remember what it is. But I think it's one of those ones that I think I'm looking forward to, and nobody else in the fucking world is.
Nice.
But yeah, there's always things that crop up throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 5, Michael Caine naked coming out of the house with a shotgun was Get Carter, ... the scene that Mark thought was in the Ippress file.
Of course it was, yeah.
There you go. 6, finally, hope Andrew Jones wasn't as picky with his burger as he was when I met him on a Twitter meetup. He sent it back twice and then left half of it. Fussy fucker, though, top bloke. Not sure in his taste in films, though, ha. No, he ate all his burger, I think.
He ate all his burger. And I think he did get it very plain, though.
Yeah, oh, man, yeah, that's right. He literally had the bun and the burger, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was there anything else to it?
No. No signs like that either.
Yeah. What the fuck? Anyway, won't mail for a bit as you want some fresh meat, but I'll be listening, Marcus Izu. No, you email as much as you want.
Email as much as you want, man. It's always well appreciated, and thank you very much for the feedback. But yeah, I know it's still one of those things that's now conscious in my mind going, world cinema. And I keep going when I get more time. And I've had a hectic week this week. I was supposed to have most of the week off, and then didn't. So it's something that I'm really hoping to do in the next 6 months.
Oh, fuck. I mean, I'm going to be bloody starting to study for qualifications in financial planning in a couple of weeks, and I've got 60 hours worth of studying to do before like July. So I am I'm going to have even less time than I already do. So fuck knows how I'm going to watch anything. But so, that, and like, to be fair, I'm like playing games more and stuff like that. So it's tough, but you try and get through it. Do you know what? Just moving on. We've got a bad week next week. I don't know what the fuck we're going to review.
What have we got? Because we're not doing Oscar Bation this year.
Have we even talked about that on the show?
No, we're not doing. Both Noel and Ian have got work commitments the next morning.
I literally got asked to cancel my day's holiday to do something which could genuinely help me get a promotion.
Yeah, so and it's one of those things. I've done the. Last year, we wrapped up at like 5:30, nearly 6 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. And I started work at 7:30 that day, and it fucking damn near fucking killed me. Yeah. So I would never recommend doing that. I might watch it myself. So if I do, I'll record it and I'll just fucking throw it out there.
I'm going to see how it goes, but I may get up for a couple of hours and just watch. Maybe if it ends at 4:30, maybe 2:30, 3 till 4:30.
Yeah, so it might go out, but there will be a proper show next week instead of the Oscar-Bation show. But what we're going to cover though?
Yeah, okay. So Grimsby. It's only 83 minutes long, which
I know, but I'd still have to go pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that.
The Forest.
Is that that's the Natalie Dormer? Yeah.
And the remake of The Secret in Their Eyes. That's it.
That's a shitty week, isn't it? What the fuck's going on that week? Fucking hell.
Out of those, I would actually go for The Forest.
I would go for The Forest out of those. But we'll see.
We'll see. But
we'll see.
If it's going to be any of those, it's going to be The Forest. I don't think I can stomach Grimsby. I
can't.
The marketing. I mean, just the TV ads for that. Now, the trailers at first, I was like, yeah, go on then. it looks like The Sun, the movie.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I will never fucking buy, read, or anything the fucking Sun. It looks like the worst kind of lowest common denominator comedy there is.
I mean, if reviews come out and they're like, do you know what? There's a really subversive, biting thing hiding in the guise of this, then maybe.
A small maybe, but do you know what? It sort of seems that sort of comedy where if somebody says to me, "Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to it," I go, "Yeah, I bet you are, you fucking cunt."
Yeah. I mean, it's really annoying as well because the week after you've got London Has Fallen and Hail Caesar out in the same week.
Why don't you release London Has Fallen this week? Next week? It would make more sense.
You know, because I want to see both of those, and I'm only going to get the time to see one. And to be fair, it's going to be the Coen Brothers film I go see. You know,
without hesitation. So we're not sure what we'll do. We might do that. We might do some kind of retro review of something, or something. We'll work it out. We'll
figure something out.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, like the fucking, like, just the week after Kung Fu Panda 3, which I'm interested in, and The Witch. Week after that, 10 Cloverfield Lane, High Rise. Both out
are they both the same week?
Yeah, but I'm actually going to see a preview of High Rise with a Q&A by Ben Wheatley the week before, so I can do both that week somehow.
I'll do both.
Week after that, Batman vs Superman.
Shit, is that fucking soon?
Yeah, man. End of March.
April?
End of March.
End of March?
Yeah. It's basically like Easter. It's because Easter's so early this year.
Yeah, of course, fucking.
Week after that, Eddie the Eagle. Week after that, Hardcore Henry and Midnight Special. You know, the week after that, The Jungle Book, The Sweeney Paris.
What?
What the fuck is that?
That can't be a fucking real movie. That's not a sequel to the fucking Sweeney.
Hang about. It's on Launching Films. But all I'm saying is, like, there's, like, stuff I want to see every single bloody week. Apart from next week. The Sweeney Paris. Oh, my God. John Reno's in it.
Oh, of course he fucking is.
Hang about. Right. There's a poster on IMDb that has it called Anti-Gang.
All right, I need to find out what this is now, because that can't be Anti-Gang.
John Hodge was... Right, John Hodge and Nick Love original... I think it's a French remake of The Sweeney. What the fuck?
That's just weird.
Right. Did John Hodge do the story for that Sweeney film? God, the bloody Sweeney. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he was a writer on the... Right, so, yeah, I think it is. It's a bloody remake.
Anti-Gang.
It's a remake of the bloody Sweeney.
With John Reno in it?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
That's amazing.
That actually came out in France, like, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Sweeney Paris over here. What the... Why?
That's great. That's terrific.
Directed by the guy who directed The Horde.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, yeah. Well, that's the most I'm going to talk about that film.
And there's a film coming out called God's Not Dead 2.
Okay.
What's that like? God's Not Dead 2. No, seriously, he's really not dead. Fucking...
I didn't know there was God's Not Dead 1.
Everybody Wants Some and Green Room are out the same weekend. Oh, for God's sake.
It's going to fuck with us, mate. Apart from this, what is it? This is our break week. And usually we'd be doing the Oscars fucking show.
Yeah.
But we'll do something. We promise we'll have something out there. We're not quite sure what we'll do. Let's say a retro review, possibly. Or we might review
The Nice Guys and Warcraft out the same bloody week.
Oh, you're shitting me.
I mean, it's going to be The Nice Guys, frankly.
It's going to be The Nice Guys, but I'm going to go see Warcraft because I'm interested in it's Duncan Jones. That's why.
I like the fact that Independence Day Resurgence is out the day after the EU referendum.
Fucking hell.
That makes me laugh. But yeah, anyway, go on, mate. Sorry, I'm just looking through this.
That was episode 148.
The Purge election year and Ghostbusters are out on the same day. Oh, the Purge election year. That was a trailer I watched as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I watched that. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? I like the fact that each of these films, they're really putting them in different places. It's like, good on them. And Frank Grillo's back in it again. Yes, please.
Yeah, because I hated the first one and loved the sequel. Was never going to watch it until you basically said to me, look, it's like a John Carpenter movie. I was like, well, you fucking hell, I've got to watch it. And then watched it, and like, actually, it was just like a John Carpenter movie. It's brilliant. I was very much looking forward to it. So again, episode 148. Check out the YouTube. I've got tomorrow off. Hopefully I'll be able to get the website up and running for then. Fingers fucking crossed, because I keep fucking having days off and they keep getting taken away from me. Nice. So keep an eye on the YouTube, keep listening to the podcast, dudeandamonkey@gmail.com, dudeandamonkey, at Ian Loring, at DudeFuzz. I'm going to go and make a fucking epic sandwich that all the ingredients together cost me £27 earlier today.
Shit, send me a photo.
I will do. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll speak to you next week, guys, with whatever the fuck we are covering.
Bye. I'm looking at releases for June 2017 now.
What's out? What are we covering?
The Fantastic Four 2 still is on launching films. I think they need to update that.
That ain't fucking coming out.
The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. World War Z Z2.
Are these movies actually going to be out? I doubt that.
Kingsman 2.
Still haven't seen Kingsman.
Kingsman's good.
I will watch it at some point, but...
The Emoji Film.
Fuck off.
Friday 11th of August.
That's like the Angry Birds thing. By the time it's happened, nobody will want it to have happened.
The Emoji Film? What?
There's going to be some... I guarantee Lindsay Lohan's going to fucking voice one of those fucking emojis.
Blimey, Charlie.
You've got to fucking hold your breath for fucking...
Sherlock Gnomes. 16th of February 2018. Untitled Universal Monster franchise film. The 30th of March 2018.
That's going to be Skull Island, though, isn't it?
Untitled Fox/DWA/Blue Sky 6 is coming out the same day as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Untitled DC Film 5, 27th of July 2018. Untitled Disney Fairy Tale 2, Friday the 26th of October 2018. Amusement Park 3D, 22nd of March 2019.
These are just getting too fucking stupid now.
Bad Boys 4, Friday the 5th of July 2019. And the recording ended there for some reason, so that's it. I don't think we really had anything else to say, and we'll be back next time.